or them alligators. And if you want to see a nigga holler, let the weather change a little bit. And them alligator shoes tighten up on your feet, and you there talking slick. You talking about eyes getting big. You got to get out of there and hurry. All we had to do was buy bigger shoes, but we didn't have no sense. Just buy a little bigger shoes. But them snakes, they natural. An alligator, you know how the weather do different real things? Man, them boys, you talking about sitting here talking, and them boys tighten up on you. Hey man, your eyes get big, and you can, and hey man, it's a long story. That's the way they are. That's the way Turkey is. That's the way the U.S. is. Whatever they do, everything is tightening up on it.
They wearing alligators.
They wearing them gators. Man, them gators is barking and biting. and friends. Think about it. Friends. Iran has Christians. Iran has Jews. You see Schindler's List, you see all of that, right? You save a handful of Jews, but everybody in Iran knows that during World War II, way over 1,000 Jews was rescued by Iranians. They don't say nothing about that. Everybody in Iran knows it, but you don't hear nothing about it here. And plus, in the Bible, Daniel and the lions den. Persia. Writing on the wall, then tickle parasite. That's Farsi. The writing on the wall, all of that, that's in Persia. 589 BC. This is when the Persians took Jerusalem and a few Jews went back. If the Jews was being oppressed for the last 2,500 years, and they ain't got enough sense to get out of there, either somebody's lying or they crazy. You know what I mean? If you ain't got enough sense, if you've been, why are they still there? Because they like it. They treated better there. And the churches in Iran, you don't never hear nothing about no Christians getting the Azerbaijanis and none of the people having no problem in Iran. There's a big Christian population. They got it good. I got pictures of one of the biggest programs there with the Christians. Hey man, there ain't no problem. Okay, now, look at our team. Their team, what do they look like? Saudi Arabia, the richest guys bombing the poorest. Starvation, look like Ethiopia in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
People in here, that's their team. For what reason? No reason. But our team, I'm telling you, it wasn't the Pope, this is the Pope here, but he was just about deputy Pope. Hey man, the guy's headgear was this big and his cross, honestly, he had to be a weightlifter to carry that point. That was a big cross. He's the Archbishop. He said clearly, we are Ali Kitab. We have to fight against Daesh. Can you imagine?
That's pretty serious.
Huh? When it said we're in the front page, I mean everything that they're doing is ushering us along. Forget about the other part, the Arab armies, that now they tried to defeat everybody but the Arab armies, Iranian army, Iraqi army, right? The Syrian army. Remember now, they can fight a long time. They've been at sustained battles. They have fourth generation equipment. This is a thing that the Jews didn't want. And nobody else wanted Middle Eastern trained armies. Israel was used to shooting a few firecrackers off and busting up those armies. It can't do that now. Because the people are used to fighting. That's why they got rid of Saddam. Remember Abel Gillespie? We don't have to do nothing. They set him up and got rid of his army. Okay, but now everything is going our way. So when you look at the front page, as this boy, he's at Azhar talking, Pope preaches tolerance to unsteady Egypt. Egypt's not unsteady. They have a dictator, and the Pope is there talking about anti-dictatorshipism too, which he's talking to Sisi.
Sisi is the one that's unstable.
Huh?
Sisi is the one that's unstable.
Yeah, don't worry about him. He's gonna take a dive. After a while, he gotta go. See, everything is going our way because the institutional framework in the world is going our way. The people are pushing everything to our table. That's the way the world is going. I just want to mention a little something here about front pages. The U.S. seeks more North Korean sanction warns, time is short. I just want to read I'm not going to go into what we did before, parallel proximity thinking and what have you, but I'm going to deal with our recommendations for the Korean Peninsula and that area. Because, as you can see from the layout here, we have been in tune with the world situation for over 40 years, and the United States knows it. They know about the period, when we travel overseas in the early years. If we go to Algeria, the people we're going to hook up with automatically is the anti-colonialist, right? It's automatic. Which means anti-Western, basically. And you're going to be hooked in with, let's see, okay, not so Soviet Union, East German, like, for instance, the Black Panthers, if they were having a big celebration at the Russian embassy in Algiers, well, the Black Panthers would all be invited just like any other, the other revolutionary movements. They would be there, you would get an update on all the things, and pretty soon you get into their framework type thing, including the East Germans. Okay, y'all may not remember peoples like, well, everybody remember Carlos, Baader-Meinhof gang, Japanese Red Army. This is all 72, 73, up to about 75, they all around. Okay. Now, I know for sure this, in Vietnam, they had the talks for the Vietnam settlement in Paris, if y'all might remember, Kissinger. Okay. So if I stroll up to the Vietnamese embassy, North Vietnamese embassy, and hang out, and after maybe a revisit or so, they don't know what went on in there. And if all over Africa we're hooked up with different types of people, they're gonna be on your case all the time. That's why wherever we went, we was hooked up with the white. The white man is not going to allow anybody to just, they don't know whether you're just friendly, whether they know, remember, white folks' business and nigger business. Suppose the nigger get better at white folks' business than the white folks. For decades, suppose the Negro can out white folks and they ain't got nobody that can forecast over. They got nobody that could put a package together and say, this looks like the way things are going. And if we want to benefit, we'll do this, that, and that. Suppose they haven't shown any of that ability. They show a situation of arrogance. This is what we want, and this is what we're going to make everybody do. Well, that's fine. When you big and bad, you can do that for a while. But if you got sense, you look at the natural order of things and you kind of deal with the flow and redirect, and you know what I mean, kind of guide things along. You don't force things along. No, you just ease them along. This is what I mean to say. So we have Korea right now. If we were recommending a Korean policy, we would say revive the sunshine policy. The sunshine policy is a policy between North Korea and South Korea. Sunshine, friends again. So the sunshine policy would be semi-reunification. Not like East Germany and West Germany, but maybe 25%. Somewhere between 25% and no more than 33 and a third percent. In other words, between 1/4 and 1/3, let's call it, in business and agriculture. South Korea heads north and they're going to help with agriculture. All the modern South Korea is just like anywhere else, Japan and here. Now, agricultural equipment. Culture, North Korea has a better hold on ancient Korean culture because it's a dictatorship than modern Korea, which is just going crazy like all people do when they get stuff. But you saw what they demonstrated today, and the damn fool changed his mind today about that. The Koreans are going to pay for that. That was Friday. Saturday, the people of Korea out in the street. What did they say on Meet the Press this morning? America has said that it'll pay for the thing. Because people's out in the street. Look, you can't dream up no clown howdy doody. This is make howdy doody now. This, hey man, they can't pull this off. They ain't that stupid to make these grand pronouncements. So, look now what it'll do for Korea. First of all, you take South Korea and China working together to upgrade North Korea. Okay. It will be people in North Korea, people in China, the old people when they go up and visit the border with North Korea and see North Korea, when they look across the river, the Yalu River, they say that's the way we looked in 1980. You know, Now, here's what you want to do. These two entities, they guarantee we're going to keep your state. We ain't going to mess with your state at all. Y'all going to stay the chiefs, and we're not going to try to undermine anything. South Korea is guaranteeing it, and China is the main guarantor. But if South Korea try to get slick, then China gonna move in and straighten it out. In the meantime, this goes to a trend that's happening. Asia for Asians. Everybody say it, and it's true. This is the Asian century. Now, in business and agriculture, from 25 to 30, that means that they help North Korea modernize. A lot of the industry that Korea makes is cheaper. Like they have those big industrial areas, South Korea, they close them down now. No, you have a whole, just like they have maquiladoras on the Mexican border, and the stuff comes into the United States. The South Korean border and the Chinese border, both extreme south and extreme north, have a whole line of maquiladoras. That means North Koreans do the work, and they produce KIAs and Samsungs, whatever they produce, South Korea, and what China produces. They give them a piece of the action. They give salaries, maybe half the salary that they would get if they worked in China or in South Korea. But 25% of that money goes to the Korean government, which they already do something like that. Like the guy makes $100 a week. Okay, good. 25 of that goes to the North Korean government. And they don't go as far into capitalism as China has gone. But they show the Koreans that this is what you can do. You see, we have done this by keeping the Communist Party in power, but we are running a capitalist type system. Now, what we say to you is, if we done went 100%, which is too far, we suggest you only come 1/4 of the way. So you're still communist, but you're getting the benefit of modern agriculture, modern dam buildings, modern everything, right? So, and we all working together. So the U.S. won't be able to mess up the weather. You know, they'd have all these droughts and floods in North Korea, and South Korea right down the street wasn't having no problem. I don't know if that happened. Maybe they just have bad luck year after year. So that kills all of that off. So you have the sunshine policy of Korea, and they showed the Korean ice hockey team playing the other day. Did you see that?
Something like that.
And the Koreans, the South Koreans, some of them was cheering for the North Koreans. Everybody wanted. Now, here's the whole deal. Here's the payoff for everybody. For South Korea, okay, we're going to tone down North Korea. We're going to tone down. You just tone down your rhetoric. But we're going to give you this T90 boost on your nuclear, whatever that is. But we're going to put all of that, you can operate it, but you have to operate it on the border, on our side of the border. Guarantees, in case they don't, they get real stupid. But on the other side, you give them the sufficient technology that if somebody bothers you too bad or invades you, you can defend yourself. And we're to guarantee you the modern technology that you need to do such and such. But, now we ain't playing with you, just like, you know what I mean? We ain't playing, but here's what we're trying to do. Number one, you be quiet and be nice. We're gonna fix your economy, we're gonna fix everything. You still gonna be communist. Communist enough. And we're gonna get rid of the US and the Korean Peninsula. The sunshine policy will get rid of the white man in Korea. They don't have no need to be there, right? We're getting rid of the white man. Who wants him gone? The Chinese want him out of there.
The Japanese wanted them out on the ground.
Yeah.
They were demonstrating the other day, they want you out, they don't want you there.
That's right.
That comes next as a part of Asia for Asians. We're just dealing with Korea right now. That is perfect. Now, and let's say we've done China, US out of Asia. The Asian century is here. So now the next friend, we'll skip a little bit. The next friend is the one we've been suggesting for decades. China and Japan. The number 2 and the number 3 economies in the world. What's holding it up? This Japan. Japan has to get big. See, when you get big, it's not just for whatever, like, we don't think about just what's for Masjid al-Islam. You ever notice that?
Right.
Okay. Now, everybody has to, when you get big, you have to think what's best for all of us.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
No doubt about it. We've already solved the Korean thing. Now, the whole Asian problem hang on one thing. The Japanese wore out Malaya, Singapore, Indonesia is just terrible what they did. And worst of all, China. Nanking, 1937, the rape of Nanking was true. The Japanese, they used to call him the white man of Asia. Hey man, they were unnecessary, they were as cruel as they could be. Good God, unnecessary. They equal the German. What the Germans did to Europeans, shoot, the dear Japanese, which I'm not saying we were pro-Japanese, but the Japanese did to their own home folks. Now, if you hook up Japan, Japan has to apologize and be just as humble as it can. Because they the ones did it, and nobody trust you. And you won't even say, well, I'm super sorry. That's stupid. Because of Japanese nationalism. You got the whole Asia. China and Japan work together, nobody can defeat it. Because you got Japan, number 2, or number 3. You got China, up and coming, still bad. The West cannot do like they did the tiny tigers of '98. Remember Indonesia, Malaysia, and all that, how well they was doing, and all of a sudden, monkey business started happening, and stuff happened to the Bank of Japan, and all of that. It's because the U.S. studies everybody. And if there's one little pin they can pull to destroy you, they'll do it. That's what they did in '98. But with all those monsters working together and measuring their steps forward, they knock over Europe and the rest of the world with no problem. That's the way it looks like it's headed anyway. These are problems. Korea, China, sunshine policy, but people have to swallow. When you get big, you have to swallow. You gotta say, this is not just for niggas. Like the movement, we like niggas. But hey man, we gotta deal with the whole world. Because if you just fix the Negro, that ain't nothing. It ain't but a corner of the world now. We gotta fix the whole show. That's the way China. That's the way Japan. And the onerous is on Japan, because Japan has the same feeling everybody else do. Okinawa messing with little girls, and the people throwing rocks and demonstrating for the last 30 years at least, right? Okay. So they was talking about ASEAN, the Asians, but they reconfiguring a little bit. And that Asian community, and after they hooked themselves up, later on they could even bring in India. They'd have to keep it at a spoon distance, so because India is a little funny. You know what I mean? But they could do it, this whole show, without India. That's the way the world looks today. Okay, you know what that is? That's Negroes being able to look at white folks' business and out white folks and white folks, because they won't look at it. When they see that, they'll go back to our interests, their interests. When we look at it for everybody's interest. That's why the white man is so mad. Because anybody that don't think, if it was 10, 12 years ago, they had the Japanese press. I don't remember if y'all know, the Japanese press was here 3 or 4 times. The German press, Deutsche Welle, the white boys back there, Deutsche Welle was here. Everybody has been here decades ago. Somebody's listening to something. These right here, when these stupid people call us and tell us, ain't nobody paying no attention, they're not looking at it. Why do you think? Look, this stuff is simple, but it shows our growth as human beings. That we're taking Islam serious, and we're taking all in the paper. The white folks is watching they come here every other day to straighten out this. They said one lady had an SOS sign, save our ship, you know what I mean? And everybody said, hey man, we gotta get rid of these bums. We don't have time. You got the scientists, you got the citizens, you got everybody. Now, what's our approach? Death rates stay up for U.S. working class whites. Within the next few months, the white folks are going to be inviting us to speak, because we know what to say. That's why U.S. Imam's anti-drug message, the only thing, they don't listen from South Africa, the only thing they done, good God Almighty, the man told about, I'm talking about the Iranian Revolution, Ayatollah Khomeini, I'm talking about drug dealing in South America, and who's behind it? Why y'all didn't make it? Why you didn't have no drug problem before during apartheid, and the next day you got drugs and AIDS everywhere?
As soon as you get your independence.
The day you get independence, not like a whole long time.
Wow.
Right? Okay. I was watching this program on RT. They were saying about some town in West Virginia. Did you see that? It has 300 people or something.
I saw the documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that it's 900 and something million heroin pills going.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Good God Almighty. Right? So, drugs and their effects on the community, on the family, on the society, what's the situation of drugs, what's the purpose of drugs, how can we deal with it. So we have experience. We get a chance to share our experience with white folks. We have experience to deal with the true resistance movement. Nonviolent resistance. We talk about what to do with our churches in West Virginia and all the white folks' churches. You solve your problem by this is how you treat your people. You don't treat them like this, you treat them like, and automatically the family breaks up. These are things that happen, and this is how to deal with it. And we can get to it. We can get to them now while it's still rising. See, that is still rising. In other words, they ain't reached the peak yet. When they reach the peak, the numbers, hey man, it's so ridiculous. You learn how to read statistics. When I would go from city to city, I still see it when I go, it's common now. It was 30 years ago when I started seeing this. All up in them little Colorado towns and New Mexico and Missouri. This is Missouri, you have Columbia, Missouri, that's Kansas City over here, St. Louis over right in the, and this is a university town. You walk, you getting around, you run every day, and you see stuff. Some of these people look like Baltimore. And Baltimore is the first place I saw the people. I walked when I first got here. One guy was in Raku. It was just heroin addiction. You know how it make you lean. He was in technical Raku and wasn't moving. I mean, real straight out Raku. He ain't had no bend in his back or nothing. Hey man, I said, good God Almighty, this heroin is serious. So this problem, and not only they have opiates, see, they're not talking about crank, you know what I mean? I mean speed, methadone, crystal meth.
They sure aren't.
They ain't talking crystal meth, boy, look here. Heroin anytime to crank. Good God Almighty. Boy, that's why they call it crank. You get cranked up.
That's what one of the guys was saying that article I was telling you about.
Right.
He was dealing with heroin and crystal meth.
Right.
And so then what he did, he got off of it, and he didn't go cold turkey. He just come down a little bit of time. So then he got on to alcohol.
Right.
So he said, when you compare him, he said 7, 8 drinks of Jameson a day. Right. He said, be taking an 8 ball.
See,